What's the difference between a chairman and a CEO? Well, a CEO is still a boss, but he's a working man as well. So he needs to spend some time being productive. And that essentially is the difference between this, the new E-Class, and the S-Class. But now in this new Avatar, it's got a whole lot more features, a whole lot more luxury. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight into our review. My name is Dipa and you're watching AutoToday, and this is our review of the 2024 E-Class LWB. Now, straight up, as soon as you look at the E-Class LWB in this new Avatar, you're going to realize that it is slightly larger than before. It's taller than before, it's wider than before, it's longer than before, and it's got a 15mm longer wheelbase. But most of those things you're going to understand once you're on the inside. But before we jump on the inside, let me tell you about all the things that have changed and are new on the outside. For starters, this grille is all new and it's got the tri-arrow pattern with the massive Mercedes-Benz logo in the center. It looks pretty cool, and those little chrome elements really light up during the night. Now, to accommodate the new grille, of course, you have a re-profile bumper, and the headlamps have been changed too. They're a little reminiscent of the EQS styling that we've seen in most modern EQ cars, and I think it looks pretty cool and modern. Now let's hop to the profile where the changes are a little more significant. Now step on the side profile, and the first thing you're going to probably notice are the new design for the alloy wheels, which are 18-inch and shod in Nexen Nefera Sport tires. There's also a chrome garnish that runs along the side skirt and adds to that premium quotient. But I think the most significant change to the side is, of course, these flush fit door handles that are gesture controlled as well. The rest remains more or less the same. You have that same silhouette, very iconically E-Class, but changes again get more significant once you step to the back of the car. Now at the back you do get a chrome garnish that runs along the tailgate and into the fenders on both sides, but I think the one that's going to catch your eye are the new LED tail lamps with the tri-star pattern, and I think they do resemble the S-Class a lot, and I think that really adds to the premium value of the E-Class. But really the lux appeal of the E-Class is once you step on the inside. So let's hop on the inside and tell you what's changed. While you're probably not going to spend a lot of time in the front seats, but when you are driving your E-Class, you are going to get some really cool functions like this third generation MBUX super screen, which integrates 3 screens into one almost flowing panel, and you get an independent screen for the passenger as well. Now that works completely independent of the infotainment system, and that's pretty cool, which means that while you're driving, your passenger can keep themselves entertained without really messing with the features on your screen. Now one of the really cool features is the selfie camera, which can be deployed for front seat users in case while you're on the go you need to jump on a meeting, or of course you can attach an external USB storage and just take pictures of you driving, which I think is a nice feature to have, especially considering the fact that people like CEOs need to attend meetings on the go. Now, one of the things that I did notice is that you cannot use the screen while you're driving. So while your chauffeur is driving, it's not like you can really attend a meeting. You still need to pull over. It is a safety based feature, but I feel like there should have been a chauffeur mode where you can use the camera while you're driving. But of course the E-Class is something that is best enjoyed from the back seat. So let's hop in the back seat and let me tell you about the creature comforts and what sets this new V214 version of the E-Class apart from its predecessor. If you own an E-Class, you're probably going to be spending most of your time in the second row of seats, and that's where it really does feel special, because you get a whole lot of new functions. For one, you get 4-zone AC control, which means that you and the other passenger sitting on the second row get independent controls for the air conditioning, which you can set to your preferences. Of course, there is a small storage here, and the key takeaway are of course the blinds, which are electrically operated both for the rear blinds as well as for the side window blinds, and you can operate the sunroof right from where you're sitting, and that makes things really cool. There is of course also a center armrest that folds down from the center seat, where you now get a wireless charging unit and a storage space as well. The interiors themselves are pretty comfortable, The interiors themselves are pretty nice to look at, and you get this white upholstery on the E200. And of course, the feature that really makes it worthwhile is the electronically adjustable rear seat, which now reclines to 36 degrees, a full degree more than the older car. And adding to the cabin experience is the 17 speaker 4 exciter 730 watt Burmeister 4D audio system, which is compatible for Dolby Atmos and sounds absolutely immersive and engaging. And if that's not all, you get an ambient lighting package with 10 different themes and 64 colors to choose from. And now one of the other key differentiators between owners of an S-Class and the E-Class, of course, is that sometimes on the rare occasion you will want to drive your E-Class, and when it comes to that, the cockpit is a very nice place to be. For starters, we'll talk about the engine specs. You do get a 4-cylinder turbocharged 2-liter petrol engine in the E200. Of course, there is also the E220D and the E450, both of which are higher spec variants, but we'll focus on the one we're driving right now. Now, this 4-cylinder turbocharged engine makes about 203 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque, but it is also assisted by a 48 volt mild hybrid system, which means that when you need it, you get an additional 23 bhp and 235 Nm of torque, which is significant. And one of the best things is that you get that silent start of the line. Now, the engine itself does have some really nice character to it. It is quick. Now, one of the things that really didn't live up to the mark for me is the quality of the adaptive damping package, for which you get 4 settings: an intelligent setting, a sport mode, and of course a comfort mode. Now, even in the softest comfort mode, there is a lot of judders and shakes that are transferred to the cabin, which is not something you really expect from an E-Class. Of course, this version does not get the air suspension, and it gets an India-specific version of the adaptive damping package. But that said, it isn't really the smoothest ride out there, and that is something of a letdown when you consider just how premium the E-Class has become over the years. The engine is mated to the 9G Steptronic torque converter gearbox, and it is pretty smooth on the go. It does shift pretty intuitively. Downshifts though, especially if you're driving spiritedly, there are times when it will deny you a downshift. But aside from that, this is not really a car that you're really going to be driving very sportily. But when you do want to drive it in manual mode, it exists, and it is not the worst system out there. It's pretty intuitive to drive, it's pretty engaging, and it makes for a nice driving experience overall. In automatic mode, the gearbox works well, and it's pretty responsive whether you're driving slowly through traffic or you're driving spiritedly on the highway. Thank you so much for tuning in to our review of the brand new E-Class LWB. If you found this review informative, don't forget to hit that like button and share this review with your friends who are looking to buy the new E-Class. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to the AutoToday channel, this is your chance to do that now. It means so much to us and the channel and our growth. Now, coming to the verdict. Now, this one, the E200 that we just reviewed, is priced at 78.5 lakh rupees, which puts it about 6 lakhs more expensive to its biggest rival, the 5 Series that just came out earlier this year. We'll leave a link for our review of the 5 Series somewhere here so you can check it out. But now, comparing apples to apples, I think the new E-Class has a whole lot going for it, especially when you get in the cabin. There is just so many cool features that have upgraded this luxury quotient and the tech quotient on the inside. And overall, it is a pretty nice car to drive. So it is a whole step forward from the previous generation of the E-Class. And I think it also does edge out the BMW 5 Series ever so slightly. Of course, there are 2 other variants that you can buy: the E220D, which is the diesel 4-cylinder turbo, and of course the surprise inclusion in the range, the E450, which is a 375 horsepower 6-cylinder version of this car, and it gets a whole lot more features. We'll drop a review of that very shortly when we get our hands of the car. As for this, thank you so much for watching. This is Didi signing off.